If you think success makes you untouchable, listen carefully. Because what happened to Lydia Karamy began with a single slap and ended with a lesson that changed her forever. Eastbridge University was known for producing leaders, judges, ministers, influential lawyers. And among its brightest stars was Lydia. Top of her class. Debate champion. Confident. Sharp. Too sharp. She walked across campus like someone already important. Students moved aside when she passed. Professors praised her brilliance. And slowly, without noticing, she began to believe she was above everyone else. That morning, excitement filled the air. A retired Supreme Court justice was visiting the university to select one student for a fully funded fellowship in Geneva. One student. Lydia was certain it would be her. As she approached the main gate, scrolling through congratulatory messages on her phone, she barely noticed the old woman sitting on a small wooden stool nearby. The woman sold roasted maize every day. Simple dress. Faded blue headscarf. Wrinkled hands. Quiet eyes that missed nothing. "Good morning, my children," she greeted gently. Lydia ignored her. Just then, something slipped from Lydia's handbag, a gold bracelet, and dropped onto the dusty pavement. The old woman saw it. "My daughter," she called softly, bending down with effort. "You dropped this." She picked it up carefully and extended it. Several students turned to look. And that was when pride took over. "Why are you touching my things?" Lydia snapped. The old woman blinked in confusion. "I was only helping." The slap came fast. Sharp. Loud. The sound echoed across the gate. Conversations died instantly. A maize tray tipped over, cobs scattering into the dust. Gasps filled the air. Lydia adjusted her bag, her heart pounding, not from guilt, but anger at being watched. "Stay away from me," she said coldly. And she walked inside. But someone had recorded everything. By lunchtime, the video was everywhere. Comments flooded social media. "How cruel. So entitled. Future lawyer? Scary." Lydia told herself it didn't matter. "They're jealous," she insisted. That night, an email arrived. Mandatory disciplinary hearing. 9 a.m. Her confidence flickered. Still, she believed she could talk her way out of anything. The next morning, she entered the boardroom. The dean sat at the head of the table. 2 senior lecturers beside him. And seated calmly in an elegant cream suit was the old maize vendor. But she was different now. Upright posture. Composed. Powerful. "Miss Karamy," the dean said gravely, "do you know who this woman is?" Lydia swallowed. "She sells maize at the gate." The dean shook his head. "This is Justice Margaret Enjorage. Retired Supreme Court judge. Founder of the Enjorage Legal Empowerment Foundation." The name hit like thunder. The same justice selecting the Geneva Fellow. The same woman Lydia had slapped. Silence swallowed the room. Justice Enjorage looked at her steadily. "Every year," she said calmly, "I visit universities anonymously. I observe how future leaders treat those they believe are insignificant." She paused. "You did not know who I was. That is precisely why this matters." Lydia felt her throat tighten. "Suspension is being considered," the dean added. Her scholarship. Her reputation. Her future, all hanging by a thread. Then something unexpected happened. Justice Enjorage slid a file across the table. "I do not believe in destroying young people for their worst mistake," she said. "But I do believe in transformation." Inside the file were photos of rural villages, overcrowded legal clinics, struggling families. "For 6 months, you will work under my foundation. No titles. No applause. You will serve people who cannot benefit you. And if I refuse? Lydia whispered. Then the university proceeds with suspension. The room fell silent. Pride fought inside her. But fear. And something deeper won. I accept, she said. The first weeks were humbling. No one cared about her trophies. She sat in dusty legal aid offices listening to farmers describe land theft. She translated complex law into simple words for widows who could barely sign their names. There were no cameras. No praise. Only need. One afternoon, an elderly widow struggled to sign eviction papers. Her hands trembled. For a moment, Lydia froze. Those hands reminded her of the slap. Slowly, she knelt down. It's okay, she said softly. Take your time. The widow smiled. Thank you, my daughter. That night, Lydia cried. Not from embarrassment. From realization. She had confused brilliance with superiority. Success with worth. She had forgotten that law was meant to protect, not dominate. Months passed. She changed. She listened more. Spoke less. Served quietly. 6 months later, she stood again in the university auditorium. One slap is loud enough to wake a sleeping soul.